What if I asked you, hey, how do you feel about the idea of reinstating a kind of rigid Hunger Games-esque societal hierarchy where your opportunities are predetermined based only on your hereditary status? Well, unfortunately, I think the caste system is officially back, codified vis-a-vis a series of carefully crafted pieces of legislation marketed to you, the public, as pro-freedom, pro-choice, pro-opportunity, but are actually designed to do the exact opposite, which is to permanently codify the status of the rich and powerful and make upward or downward mobility challenging or nearly impossible. Let's start with a little bit of context. While the US does not have a formalized caste system like those historically found in other societies such as India, elements of societal hierarchies and structures that mirror certain aspects of caste systems did and some still do exist. The most obvious historical example is, of course, slavery. Slaves were legally considered property from birth, and the legal system restricted their rights, mobility, and opportunities, effectively creating a caste-like division between enslaved individuals and free citizens. Following the abolition of slavery, Jim Crow laws enforced a system of racial apartheid and resulted in separate and unequal treatment of African Americans, limiting their access to things like education, employment, housing, and public facilities. Another often overlooked example that reinforces caste-like dynamics includes simply parental disapproval or even threatening disinheritance when their kids desire to marry someone from a different socioeconomic background, a la the movie The Notebook.
Now, he is a nice boy. He's a nice boy, but he's
what?
He is what? Trash, not for you.
You see, as a country, America markets to us this idea that no matter your circumstances at birth, everyone is more or less on a level playing field, or at the very least, if you work hard enough, you can achieve anything and everything. But that's just marketing. It's puffery. The reality is much darker and becoming more sinister by the day. Let's examine two pieces of legislation that passed this year in the state of Iowa. The first is HF 68, known as the Students First Act, which approves the use of taxpayer money to fund private schools.
It was a historic night at the State House Monday with both House and Senate lawmakers passing a bill to send taxpayer money to some Iowans to pay for private school tuition. Republicans argued that it is time to use taxpayer money to fund students instead of systems, and that this bill is necessary to make sure that every parent is able to send their kid to the school that best fits their needs.
The second is SF 542, an act relating to youth employment, which allows 14-year-olds to work 6-hour night shifts, allows 15-year-olds to work on assembly lines moving up to 50 pounds, and also allows 16 and 17-year-olds to serve alcohol.
With this bill, we are strengthening and providing protections to our youth. We are not forcing them into slave labor. We are not selling our children. We're not even requiring them to work.
They're fucking with us, right? They have to be, because here's what's actually going down. There is a much bigger plan here. Just think for a second. Whose kids are going to be the ones forced to work these tough jobs? Is it going to be the children of wealthy parents or the children of working class parents? Of course, it's going to be the kids that have to work construction instead of going to school, or work night shifts in a factory, or have to do day labor to provide for their family. They're not the kids working at some local flower shop or interning at a law firm.
It's true that more than a third of teenagers across the US worked summer jobs in 2021, but serving ice cream isn't exactly the same as working in building demolition. So why would lawmakers put kids who are just finishing middle school into such dangerous situations? Here's what Rep. Deo, the House sponsor of the bill, says.
Right now, kids can be out till 10 o'clock if they're out for a sport or a school activity. And so why are they not able to work until, say, for example, 9 o'clock?
Once again, whose kids are playing sports and whose kids are working factory jobs? I will tell you, according to the latest US Census, children in poverty are less likely to participate in sports, gifted programs, and other extracurricular activities. But rolling back child labor is only half of their plan. The other half? Allocating taxpayer money to fund private schools, which the governor of Iowa says will give parents more choice.
Parents have the opportunity to make sure their child is in the best environment that sets them up to be the best that they can be and thrive. And parents are the best ones to make that decision.
That in theory sounds very nice, but let me ask you another question. Whose kids typically go to private school? Is it going to be the children of wealthy parents or the children of working class parents? Many other states already have similar so-called school choice programs, according to Josh Cowan, a professor of education policy at Michigan State University, who has studied school choice for nearly 2 decades. According to his research, the group that benefits the most from such programs are existing private school students. Looking at data from other states that have implemented similar programs, in Arizona, 80% of applications are from children who have never attended a public school. In New Hampshire, 89% have never attended a public school. In Wisconsin, 75% have never attended a public school.
In state after state, doesn't matter the size, the vast majority of these kids were never in public schools to begin with.
Kathy Hoffman, the former Arizona superintendent of public instruction, likened the program to, quote, a taxpayer-funded coupon for the wealthy. In addition, Cowan called into question the rhetoric around opportunities created by school choice or school voucher programs by rightly pointing out that, quote, private schools can decline to admit children for any reason, students of color, lower income children, and kids struggling academically in the first place.
You know, we know it's not just important for equity, it's important for outcomes too, like intergenerational mobility.
Ding, ding, ding. That is the plan of the rich and the powerful. Many of them do not want intergenerational mobility, except we are more or less in an era where it's not so acceptable to explicitly prohibit social mobility based on things like class, gender, race, which is why they deliberately frame such laws using words like opportunity or choice. Priorities for Iowa, one of the super PACs that spearheaded Governor Reynolds' school voucher program there, claims to have the interests of Iowa parents at heart. But a brief look at the super PAC's donor disclosures tells us otherwise. According to OpenSecrets.org, in 2020, the largest donation to Priorities for Iowa political fund, $750,000, came from billionaire hedge fund manager Kenneth Griffin, founder of Miami, Florida-based hedge fund Citadel LLC. Griffin is one of the top 50 wealthiest individuals in the world today. Similarly, the largest donation of the 2022 election cycle came from Dennis Hayden, the managing partner at Oak Hill Capital, a New York private equity firm. Make no mistake, in today's example, the rolling back of child labor laws, the funding of private schools with public money, they, meaning the rich and the powerful, their plan, which is being implemented across this country one state at a time, is to put your kids to work, take the taxes that they pay and you pay, and use it to fund their own kids' education. It is nothing short of reinstituting a kind of modern-day caste system by tricking you into supporting policies that will, over time, erode your ability to improve your socioeconomic standing in order to control you and deploy you where they see fit. But hey, that's just my analysis. It's what I think. I want to hear your opinion. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful and you want to spread this message or this information to others so we can coalesce against this kind of tyranny, please take a second to like this video, share it, subscribe, and also turn on that notification bell. As always, I'd like to thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.